Morgan Dana Harrington, born in Charlottesville, Virginia, on July 24, 1989, was a promising young woman with dreams of becoming a teacher. Her artistic talents and passion for education led her to Virginia Tech University, where she pursued a major in education. Despite the demands of university life, Morgan remained close to her family, making it a priority to meet with them at least once a week. On October 17, 2009, 20 years old, Morgan attended a Metallica concert with her friends at the John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, as was known for her love for music. She was excited and waited for the concert for months. Morgan and her friends arrived in her car. During the event, she informed her friends that she needed to use the restroom. However, about 20 minutes later, just before the concert was set to begin, Morgan found herself locked out due to the venue's no re-entry policy. The reason why she left the arena in the first place is still unknown. Morgan's car keys, along with some cash, were left with her friends inside. Calmly, she assured them not to worry as she intended to find her own way home. Little did anyone suspect that this would be the last interaction with Morgan on that fateful night. Around 9:30 p.m., Morgan was spotted at Copley Street Bridge, actively searching for a lift in a freezing cold weather. This would be the last reported sighting of her. The following day, which was supposed to be her weekend with her parents, Morgan didn't show up, and her silence in response to calls and messages deepened their concerns. The worry heightened when her parents discovered that she had been separated from her friends the previous night, and no one knew her whereabouts since then.
Jill and Dan Harrington are sleepless as they search for their daughter, Morgan.
Before she left here, she said, "Dad, you're going to be home tomorrow afternoon because when I get back, I need some help preparing for a math exam."
I have had many goodbyes. I don't take goodbyes lightly. I always walk her to the car, and she gets in the car. And as she's pulling out, she's always flashing those fingers at me, 2, 4, 1.
In fact, that was the last thing she said to me.
It was the last thing she said to me when she left. Because that's just our little, your little code. I love you too much forever and once more than forever.
3 weeks later, a student returning to his apartment made a chilling discovery. In the bushes near his residence, just a short walk from where Morgan was last seen, he found a bloodied T-shirt. This ominous find added a grim layer to the mystery of Morgan Harrington's disappearance. On January 26, 2010, a farmer found a skeleton remains on his land, which he initially thought was of an animal.
Was notified by an Albemarle County resident of a discovery that they had made on their 700-acre farm in the southern part of the county. While operating a tractor in the field, the owner came across skeletal remains. The location is a very remote location. It has no public access. The state police immediately dispatched investigators and crime scene technicians to the scene to evaluate and process the findings.
Tragically, the discovery of the skeleton confirmed that it was indeed Morgan Harrington. The examination revealed that she had suffered multiple fractures on her skull and left arm, and it was determined that she had been subjected to sexual assault. Strikingly, no jewelry or clothing were found near the remains. The advanced state of decomposition made it challenging to establish the time of death. Additionally, it was confirmed that the bloodied T-shirt discovered by a student belonged to Morgan. This was the same T-shirt she was wearing the last time she was seen alive. The confirmation of Morgan Harrington's tragic fate was an excruciatingly painful moment for her parents. The realization that their beloved child had been murdered plunged them into the depths of grief and despair. A significant breakthrough in Morgan Harrington's case came when DNA evidence recovered from her T-shirt matched a cold case of rape and assault from 2005. In 2005, a 26-year-old woman was subjected to a harrowing experience when she was raped and assaulted at the edge of her neighborhood on a grassy patch. The perpetrator warned her not to shout, threatening her life. The traumatic incident ended when the man left the scene in his car. Following the assault, the victim reported the crime, underwent a rape test kit examination, where DNA evidence was recovered. Following the link of both DNA evidences, police released a sketch of the man behind both attacks. James Hetfield from the band Metallica released a video appealing people to help if they have any information.
In 2010, our band offered $50,000 to help catch the person responsible for murdering Morgan Harrington. Since that time, authorities uncovered new evidence linking her killer to a similar assault on a woman in Virginia. If you've seen the person in this sketch or have any information about this case or any others, please contact your local police or submit your information online.
A reward of up to $150,000 was offered for any information related to the brutal murder of Morgan Harrington. Despite the substantial reward, 5 years passed without any new leads, causing the case to turn cold. However, the investigation would see a renewed focus when another victim's experience brought new attention to the case. Hannah Elizabeth, an 18-year-old British-American and second-year student at the University of Virginia, attended a party with friends on the night of September 12, 2014, around 11 p.m. During the evening, she bumped into a friend and accompanied her to another party. However, feeling unwell, Hannah left the second party, and some reports indicated that she was quite intoxicated at this point. She departed on foot, and at around 1:20 a.m., she sent a text message to a friend stating that she was lost. Unfortunately, this would be the last known interaction with her. Fortunately, at this time, the police have access to footage tracking her last movements. This surveillance footage would become a crucial tool in piecing together the timeline of events leading up to her disappearance. At 12:55 a.m., surveillance footage captures Hannah Elizabeth running past the Shell gas station. Ten minutes later, Hannah Elizabeth is captured on surveillance cameras again at Sal's Pizza on East Main Street. Further analysis confirmed that there was a man who was following her. First, he was on the opposite side, and then he followed and walked in her direction. According to some witnesses, the man did not look friendly putting his arm around the 18-years-old. He then took her to a bar and bought her a drink. Soon, they were seen near the red car, of which witness heard Hannah saying, "I'm not getting in that car with you." Then at 1:20 a.m., she sent her last text message to a friend that she's lost. The man in the footage was soon to be identified as Jesse Mathews Jr. He was seen lurking in many bars and restaurants, approaching various women and behaving strangely. Following the surveillance footage linking him to the last known movements of Hannah Elizabeth, the individual was brought in for questioning at the Charlottesville police station. During the questioning, he requested legal representation. After the interview, he left the police station at an alarming speed, prompting officers to charge him with reckless driving. As concern for Hannah Elizabeth grew, hundreds of volunteers joined the search efforts. On September 22nd, law enforcement took a significant step by searching Jesse Mathews' apartment, seizing several items, including clothing, for examination. Within a day, the gathered evidence was compelling enough for the police to charge Jesse with kidnapping. However, by the time the charges were filed, Jesse had withdrawn all the money from his account and fled. Despite his attempt to evade law enforcement, Jesse Mathews was apprehended thousands of miles away while camping in Texas Beach. DNA analysis confirmed the presence of DNA belonging to both Morgan Harrington and Hannah Elizabeth on Jesse Mathews' clothing and in his car. Furthermore, his DNA matched a cold case of rape from 2005, underscoring a disturbing pattern of criminal behavior.
Chief Longo, the Charlottesville Police Department. It was some 35 days ago, some 5 weeks, since 18-year-old University of Virginia student Hannah Graham disappeared from our downtown pedestrian mall. Thousands of hours have been spent by literally hundreds of law enforcement and civilian volunteers in an effort to find Hannah. We think perhaps today proved their worth. Sometime before noon today, a search team from the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Department was searching an abandoned property along Old Lynchburg Road in southern Albemarle County when they discovered what appears to be human remains.
It was confirmed that the remains were of Hannah Elizabeth Graham. Facing the weight of compelling evidence, Jesse Mathews was charged with abduction, rape, and murder in connection to the cases of Morgan Harrington and Hannah Elizabeth. In the legal proceedings that followed, he was sentenced to 4 life sentences.